Did you know that you can go to university and study a pop music degree? Popular music. Did you know that? Did you know that you can get a degree in guitar, electric guitar, bass playing, vocals? In fact, the University of Liverpool, they offer a degree that's on the Beatles, as in the band, the Beatles. You can have a degree in the Beatles. I got blisters on me fingers. Can you imagine pulling aside Hendrix, Aretha Franklin or Charlie Parker and telling them that you can do a degree that's all about their success? I mean, did Rick Rubin study music production? No. Did Flea study bass playing? No. Did anyone ever assess Freddie Mercury for his performance skills? Not in an educational way, that's for sure. But the likes of Adele, George Ezra, Amy Winehouse, these are all examples of pop music graduates. So there are many universities and conservatoires, posh word, that offer a popular music degree here in the UK.
Subway.
And it's places like BIM, ACM, ICMP, these conservatoires. These are the ones that offer the degrees in like electric guitar and bass and synthesizer and
Platform.
production and, I don't know, events, music event organisation, something like that. I myself went to the University of Westminster and I got myself a Bachelor of Music degree in what was formerly titled Commercial Music Performance, whatever that means. I also went to BIM and did a 1-year master's degree in music entrepreneurship, whatever that is. I bet you had no idea that ARP was so educated, eh? Honestly, who is this guy? It's been a hot minute since I went to Chichester. They changed the licensing system here back to how it used to be, where you have to acquire a license online and then book. So I did that. I booked today. For real. I'm legit today. Should be fun. And we can discuss whether doing a popular music degree is worth any time, energy, money. What do you reckon? It'd be cool to hear your weigh in on the comments. So, in the following part of the video, I'm going to go through some reasons why I think you should do a popular music degree, and then some reasons why I think you shouldn't. A pros and cons list, based on my own experience, and also what I, observe as a musical human person thing. One thing having a popular music degree can definitely not help you with is the weather. There's a little spit going on, but nothing to be concerned of just yet. So we're going to start with the reasons maybe you should study a popular music degree. And I want to kick this off by saying, if your desire is to learn more about music, learn more music, learn how to play better, if your desire is just to learn, then there is absolutely no point doing a degree. No point whatsoever. Especially in the world as it is today. If you want to learn anything at all in this day and age, and you have an internet connection, then there is absolutely no reason to do any kind of formal education. Unless you want to be like a doctor or something. But if it's music, absolutely no point. You can learn way more than you would ever learn on a 3, 4, 5-year degree by not even leaving your bedroom, just having your laptop open. So do not, whatever you do, consider a music degree if you want to learn music.
Remember busking down on Brighton Beach, summer afternoon and the August heat, oh man.
From my experience, what you need to know about going to university, unlike every other educational establishment is intending to be, going to uni isn't about learning. Going to uni is much more about self-discovery, and the learning you do is all kind of up to you. So to go to uni just to learn is silly, because you can do that anyway. You can do the self-discovery anyway, and that's kind of why I'm gonna go through the following list.
Worked out, continues to work out somehow. Oh, it's 'cause I do the music of history. If you know what people do on this makeshift venue, it means so much to me.
First reason you might want to consider doing a pop music degree at uni is it will get you out of your hometown. I was 18 and I was playing in a high school band, and we were pretty popular for our high school. We used to sell out one of the local venues, and there was one time where we played a sold out gig with 900 tickets sold, which wasn't just our band, but across sort of 4 bands we managed to sell out this local venue. Wild times, man. But the other members of the band, they didn't really want it. It wasn't something that they wanted to pursue any further than just the high school, band career, whereas I did. And everyone in my local area was much more similar to them than they were to me. I was struggling to find fellow musicians who shared that passion to go forward. So what better place to look for fellow musicians that might share that passion than a popular music degree, where there's a long list of drummers, guitarists, vocalists, bass players to start a band with.
You know what people do on this makeshift venue, it made me who I am. We know my
That to me made loads of sense, and it kind of worked. The band I was in for many years prior to being ARP, we met through going to university. Some of those members went to the same university as me, were on the same course as I was on. So it worked, I suppose. Of course, there is an argument here to say that you don't need to go to uni to do this. You can just move out of your hometown. I wanted to move to London. I figured that would be the place to find musicians, biggest population in the country. Of any city. So I moved to London, but I could have just moved to London without doing a degree. The advantage of being a student, of course, means you can live the student life. You can live in student halls. You can live in areas that you probably wouldn't be able to afford to live in if you weren't a student. It definitely could be done without having to go to uni, but going to uni is a good option if you want to get out to where you're from.
Hey. Oh.
I think this right here, this move out your hometown, is probably the best reason for going to university. And I know that you have to get into a lot of debt and take out a student loan and things like this, but you never really get to be in the position again where you've got a hub of people who are like-minded, relatively similar age, have that desire to do something with their life. Now you can do it online. I mean, the people I'm meeting through this YouTube channel, for example, is bringing me forward to that. But I think in terms of when I was at university, there was always people on the media course who would happily take a video of you if you needed to shoot a music video. There were always people on the design course who would design your logo or your posters. If you needed a bass step for a gig, there was always someone to ask. Even if you wanted to find a drummer, it was as simple as putting a poster up and then auditioning a few and then saying that you're it, you've got the part. The second reason you should go to uni and study pop music, it gives you time to experiment.
No places to go, no places to find peace and quiet.
In my 3rd year of uni, I think I could count on my hand how many lectures I actually ended up attending. Unlike other forms of education, it's not compulsory for you to attend. Or at least it wasn't when I was there. And if you were making use of your time in a way that was relevant to the study you were doing, then you were allowed to take time away from uni. And we were touring, my old band were touring a lot. We had a 5-seater estate car where we'd fit all the gear somehow, as well as the 5 of us. And we just played anywhere and everywhere that would have us. Most of the time we would only get our petrol money back. But it didn't matter because we were students and we didn't really have many obligations. If we'd have been, you know, in full-time employment and we'd had rent to pay and bills to pay and obligations taken up, you know, 40 hours a week or something, it wouldn't have worked. But we were able to do it because we were students.
Where you fall in line instead of taking the time you'll be spending your savings or writing your bucket list.
And now I wouldn't recommend buying an estate car and playing everywhere and anywhere that would have you. I would recommend being a bit more tactical than that. You can check out the many videos on my channel all about the kind of way I'm doing it now with busking and gigging and things like that. But I do recommend taking some time to experiment. If you don't have the means to try things because you've got so many obligations outside of music, it's much more harder to find the time. Whereas when you're at university, you don't have that many obligations other than, you know, a few assignments.
Na 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 na. Whoa.
So it's a great time to abuse that time, to really experiment and find out what it is you really want to do, how it is you want to do it. Don't come at it from a viewpoint that the university and the lecturers are going to save you, because they're not. If anything, they're going to do the opposite. But you can save yourself during this time. If I'd known then what I know now, I would tell myself to busk some more. Being at uni would have been an ideal time to get into busking, because there would have been way less financial pressure. I know a fair few buskers who started out when they were at university and then just managed to build it up to a point that when they left university, they had a really good routine, a really good schedule, regular gigs, and that, you know, they went straight into making a living doing this. Sorry, there's some works going on. That's what that noise is.
Every step and love the dance. You do the waltz, I'll do the cha-cha now.
Just like the other point, you could do this without going to university. If you saved up enough money to live for 6 months, say, without having to work, you could put all of that time dedicated to pursuing your music career. Or you could look into getting a day job such as busking, where your music becomes your day job somehow.
A little longer. A little more, yeah. Do the dance, do the dance now, now, now.
I think the real secret here is to forget what you're formally meant to be doing at uni and concentrate on what you really want to be doing, because there is never a better time. Well, there's never a better time than any time. The time is now. The third reason why you might want to study a popular music degree: rad facilities. This is a point not to be taken lightly, man.
Oh, no. A little more, yeah.
Part of the reason I ended up at the University of Westminster is because the University of Westminster just had these incredible studio facilities, like, you know, thousands upon thousands, tens of thousands of pounds of worth of equipment in every room. You know, an iMac with Logic, Pro Tools, a 16-channel mixer, DW drum kit, Orange amps, Marshall amps, Ampeg bass stacks, access to every microphone under the sun if you wanted to. And these rehearsal studio spaces were open 7 days a week, and students had free access. You could just go into them anytime. For like 4 years, my old band didn't have to ever pay for a rehearsal space or recording facility. It was just there at our fingertips.
Now, oh, a little longer. Hold on, a little more, yeah. Do the dance.
Coming from experience as someone that's no longer at uni and hasn't been at uni for, oh my god, I graduated in 2013. 11 years. These facilities get expensive once you come out of uni. To go to those kind of studio grade rehearsal studios, or to go to a studio to record, you know, it costs you a fair amount. So again, like, to refer back to the last point, if you could be bothered to use them and you can take advantage of them while they're there at your fingertips, it's a good reason to go to uni. Like, I just finished recording my album that you can pre-order, by the way, augustradioproject.com/shop, and you know, that cost me into the thousands to put together. I've got a shout out to the people of Patreon, because that really helped. I guess again, you could do this without going to uni. If you could befriend somebody with a rad studio space, or just over time build your own. If you can acquire the gear in order to put one together yourself, and you'll never have to pay for studio space again.
Na 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 na. Ooh.
Fourth and final reason that I think you should go to uni. This is probably the most important one. University taught me what I didn't want. It solidly affirmed in my mind exactly what I didn't want to become. Let me explain.
Yeah, still we didn't catch that fish. We didn't have a piece of faith.
Now I mean this in the best possible way. I don't mean to discredit anybody, and I'm sure that there's many a good and rad professor out there. Thank you. But a lot of the university lecturers and professors that I experienced were people that worked in the music business, or had worked in the music business, or had been in bands of some degree of success, but probably weren't quite in that world anymore, hence why they were lecturing at the university. Which is, there's nothing wrong with that. Absolutely nothing wrong with that. And some of them did it in a very honourable way, and they were doing it to pass on all the knowledge that they'd learned, and they, you know, wanted the best for everyone. But I'd say like a good 80% of them were a little bit bitter. Little bit bitter.
And I was wasting it with you. Na 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 na.
Instead of encouraging us to innovate, to pursue our dreams, to do all the things we really wanted to do, there were many a lecture where we were like being talked out of it. I distinctly remember the lecture when Spotify had like really got released, because that happened when I was at uni. It was when Spotify had really taken off, and we had a lecture where the lecturer stood at the front. He was a guy who was like a session keyboard player, and he was like, right, you all need to scrap your plan A's because it's not going to work out. The music industry's changed so much that none of you can earn money doing this. He literally said that. And I tell you what, that stuck with me for so long. It wasn't until sort of like, I don't know, 2019, 2020 when I started to wake up to the idea that perhaps he was wrong, and that was just opinion of his, or perhaps that was an outdated opinion. Suddenly realised that I'd internalised that belief, and that had caused a lot of the reason that I hadn't been pursuing music full time for, you know, the whole time I was in the band anyway.
Till November, remember what we said we'd regret. To these now I can't forget. Didn't realise till we left.
When I think back, it makes me realise all of the things I don't want to ever be. One of the reasons I think everyone should pursue the dream, the true north, the calling, is because you do not want to end up one of those people that's so bitter and twisted because you'd never quite got there, because you never gave it a proper shot, that you then just talk everyone else down and out of their dreams. The more people that pursue their dreams, the more people who are likely to succeed, or at least feel satisfied with the fact that they are on the path. It means the less people are going to be talking people out of their dreams.
Lost communication between jobs, between God, but now I'm sat here in my room, looking for something to remember.
And I don't blame them necessarily. They were just in a situation that meant that's what they felt they had to say. But it taught me that I never want to be one of those people. And that was a good life lesson to learn. Again though, you really don't need to go to university to learn that. Right, we're over halfway through. I'm really getting quite fatigued actually. I'm blaming this muggy weather. Luckily it's not raining though, so it could be worse.
I see, do you like CBD?
Yeah?
Well, these are going for a quid down at the shop down there.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Are you sure? That's
Yeah,
like one of my
have a
favourite-
couple because I
It's one
bought
of
a
my
load of
favourite drinks. No, don't. That's
They're
fine.
lovely, they're
Yeah, one of my
raspberry
favourite,
and
man.
raspberry and black
Oh,
tea.
thank you so much.
See you later.
Wow.
Does our God intend to dwell again with us?
Na na na, na na na.
So, some reasons you shouldn't go to uni and study popular music. We'll start nice and obvious. Jimi Hendrix didn't get a popular music degree. Most folks, I would assume, would go to university to do popular music for one reason. The same reason I went, the same reason so many of my friends went, because they want a career in music.
Splits off into no decision. What can I do now?
Everything I've ever achieved in terms of my music career was nothing to do with university directly. Almost all of the things I've achieved resulted from experience. From being experienced, from having experiences. Most of the time just going and doing the thing, rather than studying the thing, or worrying about the thing, or thinking about the thing, or planning the thing. It's only going to happen if you just go and do it.
Nobody knows how to play it, save it. And I'm an alien.
A music degree does not equal a music career. If you want a music career, you've just got to go out and make one happen. And sometimes I think university can even serve as a distraction. There's probably way more opportunities going to the gig rather than doing that assignment, because that's a networking opportunity. You don't need a degree to get a music career. If anything, a degree could be a massive distraction.
Ready, go now, slow down. There's a monster inside my head. It says go back, turn around.
So for point number 2 on why you shouldn't go to uni and do a pop music degree, that's because it can be undermining. Kind of touched on this point before, but in my experience of music education, there's a lot of discouragement as much as there is encouragement. Not only from bitter lecturers, but also just from the idea that there's a set way of doing things, you know?
Nah, nah, nah. 2 steps from my crossroad. Nah, nah.
If you do some research on the education system, you'll see that it was actually developed in a way that's designed to create workers. There's a reason there's times to get to it, there's uniform. It's all shut up and be quiet kind of. I think it's like Rockefeller wanted a system that would produce factory workers, people who were obedient, who did it the done way. And although university has much more freedom, as I said earlier, it's still very uniform. It gives you this idea that there is boxes to tick in order to achieve, you know, the outcome. And if you sort of abide to that, you can start to sort of believe that that's how it only works in life. But especially a creative path, a path that is pathless, you know, obtaining a music career or becoming a musician. There's no learning outcomes you have to fulfill in order to achieve a grade. You just have to go out and do it. And some days it's rad, some days it's not so rad. But being on the path is really all the focus needs to be.
2 steps from my crossroad.
One bad grade can make you believe something about yourself that isn't necessarily true. If the vocal tutor at uni tells you can't really sing, you might believe that you can't sing your whole life, when actually you've got a really charismatic and amazing voice. And that vocal tutor might only be saying that because your voice doesn't fulfill the learning outcome that they've set. You might be an incredible writer, but your dissertation gets a horrible mark. When really you should be destined to write a book, a music industry book. Who knows? I think it can be as discouraging as it can be encouraging, and then often the way it is encouraging is the wrong thing. Good grades don't achieve real life results. They also don't mean your strings stay in tune.
Baby, just a teenager, bug baby. The city boy made and maybe with me.
Alright, I'm finishing up here and we'll talk about the last point I have on why you shouldn't go to uni and do a pop music degree whilst I pack up.
No, yeah, set back. No, she doesn't know what she's missing. No, yeah, set back. No, she doesn't know what she's missing. Yeah, na 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 na.
So my third and final point why you shouldn't go to university and study popular music, at least for this video anyway, because this is a subject I could talk about a lot, I think, is that typically when you go to university, you're so freaking young. I'm grateful that from my entire life, since I was about 11 years old, I've known what I've wanted to do with my life, and it's never changed. Music has been my heart, you know, since then, since I picked up a guitar. I went to university to study popular music, and I don't regret that I did, but I did not have the maturity to use the time wisely. And I don't know that anybody at that age really does have the maturity to use the time wisely. It's unsurprising that like society's set up in this way that kind of pressurizes young people into feeling like they should have it all figured out by the time they're in their early 20s. The truth is, from my own experience anyway, your capacity to really know what it is you truly want, what you're truly called towards doing, and then how to follow that path, it comes with a great deal of knowing and having had experience with doing a lot of things that you didn't want to do. When you're young and impressionable, I think you can get caught up really easily in all the things that you don't really quite know if you want to do. Maybe even going to university in the first place is something that you feel pressurized into doing. And if that is you, then my advice would be to not go. At least not yet. You don't have to go when you're 18, you can go whenever you want. You can go when you're 50. I think it's super important that everyone who has the opportunity to sit down with themselves and really listen to what it is they're feeling called towards, their true north. Because that's the thing you really should be doing with your life. And don't get caught up in the ins and outs of it. Especially not in an educational system. Especially not. Good times in Chichester then. That was £110 and 62p. Dang, it's really good. I was there for a long time though, about 4.5 hours. Making the videos always means the bus takes longer because I spend so much time talking to you. There's a conclusion I want to draw here to this video. I think doing a popular music degree is a lot like the conclusion that I drew on the video about doing a TV talent contest. Regardless of whether you do it or not, attaining a music career, being on a musical journey, it's all up to you. Whether you go to uni or not, it doesn't matter. You, and only you, are responsible for getting to where you want to go. It's all about how you utilize your time, focus, and energy. It's all about your belief, and then what you do with that belief. Your action. I love the quote, "Nobody is coming to save you." No university lecturer is going to hand you a music career on a plate. It doesn't matter how well connected they tell you they are or how good the alumni of the uni is. It doesn't matter. It's all down to you. All of the artists, musicians that have made it through and music education and still went on to do something, it would have been down to them. It would have been their doing. And the same for all the ones that didn't take a music education and just went for it anyway. It's all on you. To quote the mystic Kirsty Gallagher, the universe wouldn't have given you the dreams if the ability to fulfill them was not already inside you. Right, I'm rambling. I'm definitely rambling. So I'm going to hand you to future me to round off this video and give you an update on where I am with my album pre-orders, because we're doing well. Over to future me. Good day, my friends. What a video, what a subject. Dang. Education. ARP on the education subject. I hope you enjoyed this video. Quick update from me on the album pre-orders. If you didn't know, I've put my album out for pre-order. It's called Keep Showing Up. It's 10 tracks long. You can order it from my website right now. There's no release date. We're simply trying to get to 100 pre-orders, and as soon as I hit 100 pre-orders, I will release it out to all of those who pre-ordered it. It won't go up online until a later date. So it's the only way you can get it. And of all the ways to support me, it's the one I'm going to encourage you most to do. So go to augustradioproject.com/shop to pre-order yours. We're currently on 30 pre-orders. So we're doing all right. We're doing okay. Things have slowed down a tiny bit. So if you're on the fence, you're thinking about it, head over there now and do it. That would be really cool of you. If not, no worries. Remember to like the video if you did like it. Subscribe if you're new around here. Turn the notifications on so you don't miss videos. If you want to leave a online donation, super thanks button, or a monthly donation can be done via Patreon in return for some exclusive stuff and early album release, obviously. Thank you so much for watching again. I'm August Radio Project. I release videos every Monday, and I'll see you next week. In the meantime, go and watch one of the many other videos. Peace, love, and happiness.